working with SGD has always been great. I think it's nice for us to work with designers that are always so open-minded, looking for the new technology. Coming to events like this is just priceless. Everyone wants to share knowledge, and it's what we're about as a company as well.
What I love about the SGD conferences is the focus on plants and planting design. So as a landscape architect, that's a very broad subject area, and I really love the fact that garden design is so much about plants, trees, people, and people's connection with plants and trees. And that's why I love coming to these conferences. And also, as practitioners, we all get so involved in our daily delivery of projects, and we get little time really to kind of take a breath, meet other people, find out what other people are doing, and just get a little bit of a glimpse into other people's professional worlds. And I think that's so important for us as practitioners. So I'm delighted to be here today.
This is my very first time. I'd always heard about the SGD, and I'd always wondered how they would be useful for me because they operate in the UK. I have a different climate, a different zone. But this year I decided, open up your mind and just see. And then I happened to be in the UK, and then I found out about the conference. And I was like, at least, the least you can do is go and see what they're talking about. And it's the best decision I've made this year. So, and it means that the year is starting well. It's the best decision I've made. The conversations, so you find out that I think, yes, I'm in a tropical zone, but the conversations are global. Everything that is affecting garden design in the UK is affecting what I do in Nigeria, climate change, everything. So the conversation is very relevant and very timely.
I love coming to the conferences, and I think it's really, really interesting that the connectivity thing is the theme, because being a garden designer and working by yourself, you can be really isolated. And so coming to these things and seeing people, and it's such an inclusive industry, seeing people as suppliers and making those connections again, it kind of gives you that oomph, and it revitalises you and makes you feel, yes, I'm doing the right thing.
The thing I'm taking away from today is it's a sort of a theme that's been running throughout the SGD conferences, but I think more and more landscape design isn't, I think we're more aware that it's not about having a blank piece of paper and starting it, it's actually about joining the dots. Like the dots are actually already there. So like from today, for example, Annie is talking about, all the answers are there. You just need to collaborate with others. You had the ecologist talking about the local ecology is already there. The history, it's already there. It's all about how you tweak all those dots together in that novel way and really sort of bring out a fore, obviously, sustainability, bring that out to the fore. So I suppose it's making me think about how I join those dots.
I'm very lucky in that there's things like Hampstead Heath, Highgate Woods, literally just on my doorstep. So there's a lot of bird life particularly comes from that. So again, thinking about trees and plants and things that would support insects to support the bird life is really important. And it means that you can encourage those birds into the gardens by making those things there for them, because there is that pool of that wildlife just literally around the corner. So yeah, I think it's very exciting for people. They see their gardens come to life. Lots of people are asking for little wildlife areas, and they want to get birds and insects into the gardens and support them.
It's made me think that I'm going to go away and look a little bit more about the history of the property. I'm going to have a little bit think about not just the direct environment, but slightly wider environment, thinking about how that property connects. Not just, I've already thought about the street in this area, but actually it's near the heath, so let's think about the heath, let's think about all these other elements. So I think those are the things I'm going to take away and reflect on for that particular project from today.
Listening to about the rewilding garden when they were talking about soundscapes, I actually welled up when I heard the sounds of nature, because I feel really disconnected sometimes. I live in an urban area, so just even working within garden design, hearing that just made me kind of go, oh, it's lovely.
We're definitely seeing people wanting wildlife coming more into their gardens since COVID. I think it really re-engaged people with the importance of green space, and I remember everyone saying, because of the quiet of not being cars and traffic around, you could hear the birdsong. So suddenly you're conscious that that is there, and people want to support it and bring it, into the gardens. And they find that kind of re-engagement with nature was really good for the mental health and relaxing, that sort of thing as well. So yeah, very positive.
The one I really enjoyed this morning was the case history of going through the transforming for habitats, and I saw that, I saw how they started with just the lawn and the fountain, the pond and the sparse planting, and how they were able to develop the garden so much so that they now attracted wildlife, they attracted badgers, they attracted butterflies, they attracted, they had, and then considerations that they had to give, like they couldn't drain the pond because of the shrimps at the bottom, and they had to find an alternative. So it got me thinking that, most times we do garden for like just aesthetic pleasure, but there is also connecting with different, connecting with nature, connecting with the climate, connecting with people. So there are different connections, and if we can at least build up a garden that connects with at least 3 different themes, then I think we've done a good job. So that was my greatest takeaway from this morning, thinking beyond the aesthetics of what we do and just connecting with the habitat, connecting with nature, particularly with climate change as we have. So repopulating wildlife, reattracting wildlife and other creatures into gardens. So that's my greatest takeaway. And just the expansion of my mind, to the immense possibilities that are available.
I always find the choice of speakers really interesting, because there's always something that's people who do what you do, and then having Helen is somebody who does what we do, but is doing something completely different, is from academia. That's a really interesting extra, that you wouldn't necessarily know about unless you came to one of these events. So it's fascinating.
Helen Woolley, who's just given her presentation, was fascinating for me. Now, I've known Helen for a number of years, and the work that she does has been instrumental in helping us develop our practice. We do a lot of work around children's play, children's connectivity to nature. And we have to really evidence that need very strongly with our clients. So when we're spending other people's money, hundreds of thousands or millions of pounds, our clients want that to be backed up with good evidence about why these things are important and why they should invest in children, in cities, in the countryside. And Helen's work has really, really helped us to strengthen our understanding of why we do what we do. So I was delighted to see she was here today, and it's always great just to make sure, am I up to date with everything that Helen's been thinking about and presenting?
Today, personally, I'm big on the play space. With a young family myself, I think looking at play spaces, natural play spaces, getting children outside, something I couldn't feel more passionate about.
Oh, it's amazing. It's just great to connect with all our clients here, obviously meet new clients, say hello to people, and just to hear the speeches and everything like that, and find out what you guys, our designer clients, are interested in, what's new, what's happening. Yeah, it's really just great to connect with people, basically. So, yeah, really valuable day for us, definitely.
It's great to see nurseries here today. So one of my passions is to understand and help the industry move into peat-free growing. So I had a very interesting conversation with one of the nursery providers here today to help understand, how that's going, what their view on that is, how as an industry we can really start moving in that direction. So far I've had a great talk with some of the nurseries, but I love books. I see there's a bookstall here today. That's one of my kind of secret passions, is to grow my library collection. So that's where I'm going now, to have a look at the bookstall.
The more you know, the more you feel more confident to communicate that to clients. So I think it's really important that you don't feel like you're on the back foot, that you can speak with a little bit more authority. And I think that we're quite a bashful lot, and I don't think that we appreciate how much we have to know as designers. We have to know about everything from construction and concrete and right down to plants and designing in 4 dimensions. So, I think coming and learning something else gives you that confidence to then go out and then impart it. So I always feel better when I come out of a conference.